She's essentially said her coach doesn't want her to play her game. And it's very clear that the Indiana Fever don't want Caitlin to be Caitlin.
I think that everyone saw that we kind of got some flow when Kate was hurt and our offense was clicking. But now we have to have a new offense when she's in there because she's.
Whoa, hold up.
Hold up, WNBA fans, because Sophie Cunningham just dropped a truth bomb so massive it's still sending shockwaves through the league. This isn't just a player speaking out. This is the Indiana Fever's own guard blowing the whistle on head coach Stephanie White and her absolutely wild take on Caitlin Clark. Forget fitting Clark into a system. Sophie says White's missing the entire point, trying to force a supernova into a tiny little box.
Stephanie White, you deserve the Dodo Bird of the Day award. Yeah, I said what I said, and it is what it is. How you gonna say in a post interview, you gonna say that you trying to reintegrate CC, my precious CC, into an offense? What? She's the superstar. That means you should be trying to integrate all the other players, not.
And here's the kicker. Caitlin Clark herself is practically screaming in interviews that she's being played out of position, forced to improve in roles she should never even touch. Seriously, who takes the greatest generational talent and tries to turn them into anything less than the main event? Apparently that's Stephanie White's playbook, and Sophie Cunningham just ripped it to shreds, exposing the jaw-dropping dysfunction festering behind the Fever's closed doors. Trust me, this is the popcorn-worthy clash we've all been waiting for.
This is how you treat your prized possession? This is how you treat your cash cow? This is how you treat your savior? This is how you treat the young woman responsible for elevating this unbelievably rancid.
So picture this. Sophie Cunningham steps up after practice, microphone in hand, and absolutely obliterates Stephanie White's carefully rehearsed PR lines. We're talking surgical precision, mixed with the finesse of a wrecking ball in a china shop. While White was still droning on about integration and slow tempo sets, Sophie looked straight into the camera and basically said what every single fan, analyst, and anyone with two working eyeballs knows. This entire roster needs to orbit Caitlin Clark, not cram her into some dusty ancient playbook from a bygone era.
Today, salute to Sophie Cunningham. Not only does she stand up for Caitlin Clark on the court, but she stands up for Caitlin Clark in the media as well. While Caitlin Clark gets pushed around, thrown to the floor during games, and teammates are standing there just looking, not doing anything, Sophie Cunningham will do something. While other players get a microphone put in front of them, doing their media interviews, while they regurgitate the same nonsense, the same word salad that Stephanie White lies says, Sophie Cunningham will say.
And Sophie didn't just defend Caitlin Clark, she absolutely body slammed Stephanie White's entire coaching credibility, complete with undeniable receipts, a truckload of sass, and a gaze that just screamed, yeah, I said what I said. So what lit this fiery fuse? Why does the WNBA feel like that disastrous group project everyone avoids? Simple. Sophie sees what anyone with a basketball IQ above sea level has already figured out. Caitlin Clark is the user manual, and everyone else is just fumbling the pages.
Man, I think that everyone saw that we kind of got some flow when Kate was hurt and our offense was clicking. But now we have to have a new offense when she.
Now we have to have a new offense. Translation: Stephanie White. That shit that you're trotting out there, that motion offense garbage that you're trotting out there, ain't gonna fly with a generational talent like Caitlin Clark. She's that damn good.
When Kate was hurt and our offense was clicking, but now we have to have a new offense when she's in there because she just brings that much to the game, and so we have to adjust.
Now hold on to your hats, because here's the mind-blowing part that'll have your head spinning faster than a washing machine on spin cycle. Stephanie White herself, in a post-game interview, openly admitted that the team plays best when Caitlin Clark has the ball, when she's running the show, when everything revolves around her. Read that again, she said it. Yet somehow, in a move that defies all logic, basic basketball sense, and perhaps even the laws of physics. After seeing that success with her own eyes, White then decides to completely change course, pump the brakes, bench Clark, and then act shocked Pikachu face when the entire team suddenly falls apart.
Caitlin Clark's return, in which, since this is a lady we're talking about, it looks like Stephanie White has spaded Caitlin Clark, for lack of a better way of putting it. If it was a dude, I'd say neutered, but, you get my point. She has taken away Caitlin Clark's greatest asset, which is the creator and instigator of offense.
Sophie Cunningham basically went on national television and screamed what every single one of us has been shouting into our screens. Give the damn ball to Caitlin. This current offense, it's a dumpster fire. You put the ball in her hands and you let the magic happen. Because let's be real, the reason arenas are selling out, the reason fans are dropping rent money on overpriced jerseys, the reason they're chanting like it's a rock concert, it's not for some fancy 5-player scheme. It's the Caitlin system. Caitlin is the system. You could stick 5 literal traffic cones in Fever jerseys next to her, and that arena would still be standing room only. Nobody's paying top dollar to watch backdoor cuts and screen assists. They're paying for Caitlin, full stop.
Stephanie White, you deserve the Dodo Bird of the Day award. How do you want my precious Cece to play defense every possession? Full out? Ain't no way. I played ball. Ain't nobody playing defense every possession unless you just great at defense and that's your job. You hear me? Don't you know she is an offensive player? You hear me? She scores. She facilitates. So she have to control and reserve her energy when it matters the most.
Sophie Cunningham is laying bare the uncomfortable truth. Caitlin Clark is not being treated like the generational goldmine she is. And get this, here's where it gets absolutely bonkers. They're giving the point guard duties to Arie McDonald. She's the one bringing the ball up court, not Caitlin. Let that sink in. The woman who shattered every college attendance record known to humankind is relegated to standing in the corner while a reserve player runs the offense. Clark is consistently getting ghosted, visibly throwing her arms up in pure, unadulterated frustration when teammates like Natasha Howard refuse to give her the rock. These moments aren't just clips, they're viral explosions, sparking endless debates about her body language and the team's abysmal chemistry. This isn't just a basketball game, it's a chaotic, tragicomic play, and Caitlin Clark is somehow the headline act, the director, and the ticket taker for a show she's not allowed to star in.
It puts out a lineup yesterday. Arie McDonald starting at point. Kelsey Mitchell's at shooting guard. Caitlin Clark's at small forward. And I'm like, what is going on? Are we trying smaller lineups? I guess, okay, but are we doing a point forward situation? Is that what we're doing? We're doing a LeBron James point forward. No, the hell we ain't. We ain't. We're just running the same old, I want to say same old offense, but I don't know what that offense is.
And then, in those post-practice interviews, Sophie dropped a reality check so brutal, so honest, it probably made front office ears bleed. She bluntly stated, "I think that everyone saw that we kind of got some flow when Caitlin was hurt, and our offense was clicking, but now we have to have a new offense when she's in there, because she just brings that much to the game." Think about that. Instead of building their entire system around this generational phenomenon, they're actively trying to integrate her, as if her presence is some minor inconvenience needing a mountain of bureaucratic red tape. She's not a supporting character. She's not a developmental project. She is the blueprint, the headliner, the pyrotechnic finale before the lights even dim. And then Sophie delivered the absolute dagger. Players are on their own islands. Like this is some disastrous Firefest knockoff instead of a professional basketball team. Welcome to Survivor Indiana Fever Edition, where trust is a myth, chemistry is a ghost story, and everyone's too busy paddling solo to notice the whole damn ship is taking on water.
think all of us just want it now. We know what the potential of this team can be, but we can't think about that. You really have to take day to day, and stuff that worked here, we need to carry it over to tomorrow's game. We have a lot of games coming up, and I think like 7 days or whatnot. And so it's mentally making sure that we're good. It's physically making sure we're getting recovery, making sure we're taking care of our bodies off the court. But we're trying to figure it out. And I think you guys see it. I think we're all a little frustrated. We're trying to figure out what's clicking, what's not clicking, what works for us defensively. But at the end of the day, I think what we can hang our hat on is not getting outworked, making sure that we're the aggressors, making sure that we're getting O boards, controlling what we can control. And I think we need.
Let's be brutally honest here, and this truth stings harder than it should. The Indiana Fever have a bona fide superstar in Caitlin Clark, yet they're treating her like she's just another body on the roster. It's the basketball equivalent of owning a top-of-the-line Ferrari and only using it for grocery runs, completely missing the point. Clark isn't just a good player, she's a once-in-a-generation force, a cultural phenomenon poised to reshape the entire WNBA. But instead of unleashing that raw, game-changing potential, the team has effectively sidelined her, not physically, but by marginalizing her role in the offense. Over and over, we watch her stand around, a passenger in clunky post-up plays that almost always end in a bricked layup and a collective groan from the stands. It's not just frustrating, it's an absolute travesty when you know exactly what she's capable of.
Clark, a Leah Boston deadly connection, pick and roll, two-man game connection that has worked this whole season, gone. Poof, the one thing that was in existence that actually worked, that felt like a little bit of something offensive that worked, gone. Gone. Caitlin Clark has a horrible game in her return. The whole team is horrible. I mean, what have I said on reactions to games, folks? When you got a big three, 2 out of the big 3 have to show up and produce. All right?
We're 20 games deep into this season, and head coach Stephanie White is still apparently stuck scribbling on her whiteboard like she's completely lost in her own playbook. Still figuring it out at this stage isn't a sign of patience. It's a flashing red siren signaling a catastrophic failure. These plays aren't strategic. They're a chaotic street performance where no one knows their lines. And the absolute worst part? White seems hellbent on turning Caitlin Clark into a glorified role player. Not the leader, not the undeniable star. Every time Clark gets inexplicably benched when she's finally catching fire, or every time an open look gets criminally passed up, it's not just a missed basket, it's a direct attack, chipping away at the unparalleled greatness she could bring to this team and to the entire league. Caitlin Clark should be the undisputed centerpiece, the entire reason this franchise exists. Instead, she's being tragically sidelined by a system that clearly has zero clue what to do with a talent of her magnitude. And if this doesn't change, the Fever are actively on track to squander one of the most electric paradigm-shifting talents women's basketball has ever witnessed.
Look, Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White clearly like and respect one another, right? But that doesn't mean they always see eye to eye. And I am beginning to suspect more and more that there's a bit of a divide between the way that they see the game and the way that they think the Indiana Fever should play. You can just hear what they have to say and connect the dots a little bit.
Sophie knows deep down this roster isn't the real problem. It's the entire direction, the game plan, the system that feels more like a roulette wheel wearing a whistle than actual strategy. It's not a lack of talent. They've got plenty, but talent without clear direction, that's just pure unadulterated chaos and sneakers. You can't stumble into chemistry, and you sure as hell can't expect synergy when players aren't even allowed to build trust. The disconnect here is louder than the national anthem at game time, and Sophie Cunningham is the only one brave enough to call it out. The whole setup is a masterclass in confusion. You've got rookies drowning under veteran burdens, shooters playing hot potato with cold hands, and Sophie standing in the eye of the storm, wielding a flamethrower of truth, torching every bit of nonsense in her path.
I don't know if you noticed or heard about it, but during the game, Caitlin got honored as the WNBA Player of the Year in the ESPYs. Just what does it mean to have her impact so far? I mean, there are a lot of really good players in this league, and she got honored as the best player in the league by the ESPYs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she continues to get new awards. She continues to break barriers. She continues to do things that we haven't seen before. I mean, you know, obviously you think about the Stewie's MVPs of the league and, you know, championship winners, and Asia's MVPs of the league and championship winners. And of course, Sue Bird, who was sitting, you know, in the building today. And, you know, Caitlin is so fortunate, as well as all these guys.
And here's the kicker. Caitlin Clark herself has been crystal clear on this. In pregame media, she stated plain as day, "I think we need to do a better job of getting me the ball in transition. Whether somebody is there or not, I think there's a fine balance of playing me off the ball and also getting the ball in my hands. That's when I'm the best in transition. Everybody knows that. But does White listen? Nope. She seems dead set on keeping Clark off the ball, fixating on how Clark can get open looks by, wait for it, setting screens. Yes, the generational scorer should be setting screens. And get this, White even tried to compare them to the Pacers, touting some we over me philosophy, citing Tyrese Halliburton as a lesson for Clark. But strip away all the buzzwords and the convoluted game plans, and the glaring problem is obvious. They're treating an absolute supernova like a casual role player. Let's be real, if Caitlin were on literally any other team, we'd be glued to nightly highlight reels instead of watching what feels like a public therapy session.
So right here, y'all see my precious CC. She getting her airtime, know what I'm saying? With the stud buds. And look, check this out. She said, oops, gotta go. Cause look who we see now. It's Jigsaw from the movie Saw. Stephanie White. She is a buzz killer. Golly, you hear me? Like, I don't understand, bruh. Like, you is 50, man. You need to go sit down somewhere. We trying to turn up and get lit, you hear me?
Here's the true insanity. It's not Sophie's scorching commentary that's wild. It's the fact that she even has to say any of this. We're 20 games deep, and the head coach still looks like she's waiting for her WNBA head coach for dummies starter pack to arrive. This offense has less flow than a cracked water fountain. That's not progress. That's an endless soul-crushing loop of maybe next time. Sophie Cunningham isn't here to play diplomat. She's not campaigning for a cushy job at the league office, and she's damn sure not sugarcoating anything to appease the good vibes only crowd. She's speaking the raw truth in HD clarity with the surgical precision of a buzzsaw through a dollhouse. Sophie Cunningham has single-handedly exposed the systemic chaos, called out the utterly baffling coaching decisions, and laid bare the dysfunction that is actively, shamelessly wasting the most captivating talent women's basketball has ever seen. The question isn't whether she's right, because she absolutely is. It's whether anyone with the power to actually do something is listening, or if they're just content watching this train wreck unfold.